Hey guys, welcome back to the Gooner podcast right here for the post-match review. Arsenal 2, Fulham 2. I pretty much want to skip all the bullshit and just kind of go into the game. A very disappointing game. I'm absolutely disappointed, upset, and annoyed with the result because honestly, I think, on paper, we are a much better team than Fulham. But the way how we play was just not right. I mean, starting from minute zero, all right? I mean, the game started at 7 in the morning here in British Columbia, Vancouver, Canada. I woke up 15 minutes early, or 15 minutes before the game started. Look at my phone, and the first thing I saw was Gabriel's not on the lineup again, and we're playing three at the back. Kivio coming on for the suspended Tomiyasu in that role, and we're playing again three at the back and having Partey as the inverted right back. And I thought, you know what, I don't think it's gonna turn out right. I mean, honestly, I like some sort of innovation, something new, something fresh, but the fact that we did not play three at the back, or the formation that we've been playing for the past two games and any other preseason game. And out of nowhere, just kind of a surprise. I mean, yes, it kind of worked out against Nottingham Forest until pretty much the last 10 minutes. It kind of did work out against Crystal Palace. But against Fulham, I just feel like for the past two games, we just kind of lacked some sort of stability in the middle and also at the back. And I was very annoyed. I mean, Zinchenko is fully fit. Gabriel is fully fit. No offense to any of the personnel on the pitch right there. No offense to Kivior as well. It's just the fact that we have been doing very well with the formation that we have been dealing with last season. I mean, playing forward at the back, having Zinchenko, Gabriel Saliba, Ben White as the back for last season, showing great sign as well. I honestly really have no clue why we have to play what we have to play three at the back just to compensate maybe having Trossard or even Havertz up front. I understand what Arteta was trying to do. I understand Arteta wants to gain some sort of offensive dominance, more control in the final third, but honestly, it just didn't quite work out, and it's very annoying. I mean, it's been 6-7 hours after the game. It just doesn't feel right to me in general. It just hurts because I feel like this is the game where we should have won, right? I mean, in last season, we beat Fulham 2-1. I know we beat them with the last-minute winner. But last season, we started pretty well. And this season, it's different. I mean, first thing I want to say is pretty much just that last season, I can feel that last season was so special to the squad, to the season, to all the Arsenal fans around the world. Last season was so special, but this season I know it's not going to be as special as the last one. Like, you guys can probably sense it, feel it. But in general, I'm not saying this team is not good, but the fact that when you experiment way too many times, or when you're trying to experiment something that is not quite working out, or not, when the outcome is not completely 100%, something's going to bite your tail. And this is the game where it happened. That's why it's so annoying. And the fact that, we were sitting at third, I know we didn't lose. But the fact that last season we won 3 out of 3. This season we won 2 out of 3 right now. Drawing a game, ironically, West Ham is at the top of the league table with the goal difference. Of course, they played very well today. They beat Brighton 3-1. And Spurs had been clicking, I would say. I mean, with the new coach that they have, the new manager they have, I think this year, they are much better than last season. And I felt like, for West Ham, for Spurs, without the big player, Harry Kane, Declan Rice respectively, somehow make them a much better team. So let's talk about Arsenal. It's funny. I mean, looking at the lineup, same thing. Trossard coming on for Eddie. I guess it could. I guess that move was right, but honestly, the formation was completely wrong. I just don't think that facing against a team like Fulham, I don't think that was the right. I don't think that was the right formation to go. I mean, unless you're playing against Luton Town, Sheffield United at home or away, you can try that. You can do that yourself. But then when you play against Fulham, I know they lost Mitrovic. I know they lost Willian. Maybe a couple more players here and there. I just felt like, they can still haunt you in some way. And look at them. They exactly did that. Within 1 minute, the commentator mentioned about how Arsenal, for the past few games, in the Emirates, they conceded a goal relatively early within 1 minute. Guess what? 15 seconds later, we freaking concede a goal. I was speechless. I didn't know how to react to that play, right? It was an individual mistake from Saka. It was a poor pass, or he was aiming for somebody else. I'm not quite sure what he was thinking. But when you look back at the mistake, Partey was actually filling in as the right center back role. And when the ball got to Saka, trying to play a little bit diagonally or trying to find a pass in the middle, you Declan Rice, you have Ben White kind of behind him as a support and Odegaard in front of him, something like that. Partey decided to kind of go out of position and into more of a, central role in that area just in case we can switch the ball to him and we can go for some sort of counter attack or orchestrating a play on the left hand side. We made a mistake at the back, and after that, Ferreira scoring from that range, but Ramsdale was just poor. Positional wise, it was just painful. I mean, when you look at, was it Ferreira? Was it Ferreira? I think it's Pereira. So Pereira was trying to lobbed it over Ramsdale, but then he didn't strike the ball quite cleanly. I mean, you can watch the replay, you can see his body language, the way how he tried to strike the ball. It's very obvious he's trying to lob over Ramsdale, but he scuffed it. Ramsdale had a poor position. I mean, you can't really blame Ramsdale a lot in that play, but honestly, you just have to blame how we just kind of lost the balance at the back. And you know what? 1 minute in, we are one goal down, and this is definitely not the start of the game at all. And this still bugs me to this moment later on. Honestly, I don't like that. That's the thing. Like, it's been way too long. I don't remember specific play, but there are a few plays where Havertz could have done better in so many ways. And Havertz, I think today he had a stinker. I'm not saying that individually he made a lot of mistakes, maybe a few mistakes, but honestly, I just don't think it's quite working with that formation. Having him playing as the left center midfield role, compare him playing as the center forward against Man City. Of course, I felt like that game he has a much more influential game compared to this game that he has. And we have a few more chances. Saka puts the ball in the middle. Havertz kind of didn't catch the ball too cleanly with the studs, and the ball went out wide. And there are a few times where I felt like Martinelli should have done better in lob situation instead of trying to keep dribbling in a certain area. I felt like Martinelli should have done at least much better in terms of his output. I felt like even in the last game against Crystal Palace, there were a few chances where he could probably try to go for his left foot, but instead he just kind of stay safe and keep the ball onto his feet. And it happens in today's game as well, where I felt like we should have had a much better outcome with the ball, especially on the wide side. We have a few shots, to be honest, but straight at Leno. I mean, I think in the first half, Leno didn't really have too much to do. Instead of making a few saves where it was pretty much right down the middle, there's no challenge to him pretty much. So Jimenez, there was one play, one offensive play where it would have been one of the best goals I've ever seen. Trying to Caesar it in the middle of the air, and the ball kind of went out wide. Again, we got so exposed at times where we just couldn't really, you just couldn't really dissect the play very well. And we're having trouble at the back. Honestly, we just every time when we lose possession in the middle, in a very awkward area, and when the other team, for example, Fulham today, counter us, we look very dangerous in terms of we look very fragile at the back. So this formation has to stop. I mean, it's very unsustainable, honestly. Having Partey as in front of right back, it's just not it, to be honest. Nick's game against United, they have a stinker for the first 5 minutes, but you know what? At the end of the day, they made a complete. They made an 8 epic comeback, 3-2 in the end for them. You know, I don't like United, but they got the result. That's all that matters to them. And Arsenal, I don't know if we're going to play with the same formation next time, because honestly, if we are, I'll be absolutely livid with that. And then, of course, there's a clip where Havertz was, trying to build some sort of momentum with chemistry between himself and Martinelli. It was just bad in general. It just seems like, it didn't quite click for Kai Havertz today. And second half, we were one goal down. Started off very quietly. Odegaard didn't do too much, to be honest. I feel like it's not, he hasn't quite really get into the momentum yet, to be honest. I forgot what happened. Our first change we made in halftime was pretty much Nketiah coming on for Trossard. I think it was the right move, honestly. Trossard didn't really do too much today's game, and honestly, a little bit disappointing with his involvement in general today. Eddie coming on, just giving you a breath of fresh air. That's all I can say. I mean, I know I criticized him a little bit in the last game against Crystal Palace, but today's game, he changed the momentum, changed the way how we play, try to receive the ball in deep block area or in between the midfield and defensive line. He did that very well. Received the ball, turn, pass, make room, make spaces. He did brilliantly today, Eddie. And later on, Zinchenko coming on and Vieira coming on as well. I think Vieira involvement was relatively a little bit surprising to a lot of people, because we're chasing a goal and we brought Vieira, and we thought we don't quite know where he's playing. I think he was he replacing? I think he was replacing Thomas Partey in that area, and suddenly we shift to a back four. And like I said, I mean, when we shift to a back four, we have more control. We feel like we have more control, less exposed in the counterattack area in general. But I know Gabriel today is not going to play regardless. If there's anything happened to Kivior, then of course Gabriel will play. But if he's fine, if Kivior is fine today, Gabriel's not going to play at all. And honestly, I really don't know the decision behind benching Gabriel. Maybe there's more into it. I can't really get a read onto it. So yeah, and after Vieira coming on, Zinchenko coming on, we instantly look way better in terms of controlling the game. Making passes, short passes. We just look better in general. And guess what? 68 minutes in, a through goal. I believe it was Zinchenko to Vieira or Martinelli to Vieira. Vieira, good first touch. Tede took him down from behind. That was a penalty. That was a very, very sweet moment, especially in that moment where we're trying to build our momentum. I feel like from the 46th minute to 70th minute, we just couldn't really create a lot of chances. A few shots on target, but that was about it. I mean, nothing too critical, nothing too important that happened until that play. Just a little bit of a pocket of space where you find that little runner up in that area. Vieira did a good job finding that space, dribble. Tete got him. That was a clear penalty. But of course you cannot celebrate anything, because they're saying that there might be a potential offside build up to it again. And later on, the topic of who's taking the penalty was on again. Was it Odegaard? Was it Saka? Or was it somebody else? And I thought it would be Odegaard today, but turns out it was Saka, who delivers in the spot right there. Leno gets the wrong way, and we have got one back, 1-1. And I thought, game is on. And honestly, I thought, we might be able to probably grab some 3 points in the end. I feel like the momentum was coming, and later on, 73 minutes in, was it Bassi, the left center back for Fulham, kind of pull down or get physical with Saka. Both of them went down. I mean, arguably Saka looks like a foul in a way because he drags Bassi down, but it doesn't matter. But you gotta give credits to the Arsenal team. I know there's a player down, but again, you got to play to the whistle. And we did that, but Fabio Vieira, this guy came on and absolutely delivering a big scene like this. Yes, I'm sure a lot of fans might have doubted him playing as a left center midfielder because honestly last season didn't quite work out for him in that area. But that assist from him, that pass from him from the left central area to Nketiah was a perfect pass, good finish as well, and we have got ourselves a lead in the game 2-1. And I thought, you know what, we still have one more substitution, and I thought, we might potentially throw in Gabriel in as well. And later on, it was also Fabio Vieira involvement in that play, getting to Eddie. Eddie got a touch, trying to dribble across or run around. Bassi pulled Eddie down. No doubt it was a red card for the second yellow card. And I thought, you know what? We are definitely adding more stability right there. And it's fine. I mean, right now we just need to defend. That's pretty much it. 85th minute. Zinchenko kind of give away a very silly corner. I think was trying to go for a pass. And then later on, it was, I think it was Traore, I believe so, got the ball back. It turns out it was a corner. Corner coming in. Absolutely bamboozle once again. Nobody mark Paulinho, scoring a very good finish as well. Kind of a half volley into the bottom left corner. And this is another problem that we have, right? We had been, last season, for the first half of the season, we have been very good in terms of defending set pieces. We were very, very good at it, right? Or even 2 years ago, we've been very good at defending set pieces and very good offensively. But right now, it's completely reversed. We are very bad at set pieces right now. I feel like we're not getting anything going. And defensively, to defend a set piece, it's horrible. We did that against Bournemouth, I believe so. Was it Bournemouth? And we also did. Did we do one? From Southampton as well. I mean, guys, come on. At home, right? A team that we should be beating, we allow them to have the time, the spaces to create something off of from a corner kick or even set pieces. It's just unacceptable at this point, right? I know Niko Jovic. Is it Jovic? Jova? Doesn't matter. The set piece coach should have done better. I feel like we're just not doing well in that situation. Again, it was a corner kick. I mean, how many times do we have to concede corner in a game like this? It was just unacceptable. It was just so painful, Like, I knew shit's gonna happen in the end, but I didn't know. It turns out that shit coming from set pieces, and we bite ourselves in the tail. We deserve that. We deserve to freaking drop points today, right? I mean, we are trying to win against a 10-man Fulham, and we can't even do that. And we have to concede in most Arsenal way possible, which is from a set piece. And I don't know who's marking him, but the fact that not winning the first header, I don't know who was responsible for it. Paulinho was free. You can arguably say that Bukayo Saka should have closed him down a little bit. It just didn't. And we shut ourselves in the pants again. And we're 2-2. 9 minutes at a time. Putting in Jesus. Fabio Vieira cuts inside, go for a shot. I mean, if he scored that, I would definitely crown him. I would definitely take him over Odegaard at the moment. But we didn't. Well, we didn't win. I mean, I don't know how Fulham was doing for the past few games, but come on, guys. I mean, this is the game where we should be winning. And we already know how tight the title races was last season, right? It's very tight. We lost by 5 points, and we dropped 2 points today. And we could potentially drop more points in the near future. I'm not saying that we're definitely going to do a double against Spurs this season. I'm not saying that we're definitely going to do a double against Liverpool, United, Chelsea, Liverpool, Spurs. I'm sure I repeat some of the team's name. We might not be able to beat Man City this season. So 2 points, it's a lot, right? If we somehow defend our corner properly in that, in that situation, or playing with a different formation to kind of putting more stability at the back, we could probably go up top with 9 points. City's playing tomorrow, which is likely they're going to win the game tomorrow. And Liverpool might potentially overtaking us as well. And we're sitting at third right now, but it doesn't matter. I mean, yes, we're sitting at third, 35 more games to go. But the way how we played today was just shocking. And we're playing Champions League football today. And today it doesn't look like we are a team. We are a team in serious conversation and and participating, playing in the Champions League at all. Based on what I'm watching today, or the way how we want to carry the game or carry the competition going forward, it's just really tough. And if we keep on playing with the same pace, the same style, I don't know if we can make it in round 16 at all. So yeah, that's pretty much my rant today. Probably going to rant more tonight, because this game's definitely going to haunt me for the rest of the day, tomorrow, or for the next few days, because honestly, it stinked, right? It's not, it's not like playing against Man City, away from home. Like, we know that we're going to lose, right? We know we're going to lose. So I'm not being bitter. But this game, we should have won, right? And the most infuriating things I've heard after the game was Arteta thinks that we deserve to win. I mean, come on, mate. I mean, when you look at it, there's no way, we're nowhere close to deserve to win this game. First of all, tactics got it wrong, unsustainable, conceding within 1 minute from individual error, and also the way how we set up. And later on from set pieces as well, right? Defending set pieces and not allowing any goals in is pretty much the primary defensive ability that we should be obtained. But we didn't. And turns out both goals that we conceded could have been easily affordable in a lot of ways. And the way how we score, well, we can score goals. I mean, that's a good thing. We can score goals. But defensively, we're still lacking behind. How are we conceding 2 goals at home? Right? Just how? It's either the setup or just the personnel issues that we have. But honestly, I don't see a lot of personnel issues today. And even though they're not quite directly, involved with our conceding the goals. I mean, Havertz have a stinker. Second half, there was one where instead of touch and move forward, he gave it back to Declan Rice. You guys probably seen that. But Saka, horrible pass. But honestly, if Partey was sticking with that position, we would have probably avoided that situation. Players rating, Ramsdale give it a 6, to be honest. I mean, he made a good save in the end to deny Traore's 1-on-1 last minute winner. Imagine that went in. I'll be absolutely flipping. Ben White, I think it's a 7. I think there were moments where he just couldn't really deal with the ball very well. Saliba, poor game in general. I would give it a 6.5. That one play almost led to a goal. Kiwior was meh. I'll give it a 7. I mean, compared to Ben White and also Saliba, I don't think he made any individual mistakes. Saka, give it a 7. Again, first half looks pretty bright, but later on just kind of gotten quiet a little bit. Martinelli, give it a 7 as well. I mean, nothing much going on. I mean, you don't really see a lot. So Declan Rice, I give it an 8. I think Declan Rice had a pretty good game as well. Havertz, give it a 4, to be honest. It's just I feel like there's few chances where you could score. Done better in certain moments, but just didn't quite work out. Odegaard, give it a 6, I guess. A few shots on target, but wasn't good enough in general. Trossard, give it a 5. Just horrible today. I love Trossard, but honestly, this game wasn't quite for him at all. Partey, I give it a 6. Actually, it's just it is what it is. Vieira coming on, give it an 8. I give Eddie a 9. I think probably both of them get a 9 because both of them changed the game in a way. Sinchenko give it a 7. Actually did well. Jesus coming on for the last 5-10 minutes. Honestly, Jesus coming back on today, it's a miracle. Wasn't expecting him to be featuring today at all, but he did. Who else coming on as well? Jorginho, I think he did well as well. I give it a 7. But that's pretty much it, guys, for today's podcast episode, whatever you call it. It's just still pains me. I'm going to feel like that. I'm going to feel like shit for the next few days because of this game. I just can't be asked at this point. I just can't be asked at this moment. So hopefully we're gonna beat United, but I am definitely not optimistic about that. So thank you guys for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Do all the good stuff to this channel, and I'll see you guys in a bit.